Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. Today we're talking Week 14 recap of the 49ers Saints game. Final score 49ers 48, Saints 46. So I had called for a shootout in this one, but I wasn't expecting this. This was even more than we could have asked for from a fantasy perspective. Let's start with the Saints side of the ball. Recommending starting Drew Brees. If you sat him, I'm sorry. He had 29 completions on 40 attempts for 349 yards. 5 touchdowns and 1 carry for 1 touchdown, so 6 total touchdowns for Drew Brees. Just absolutely destroyed lives if you were playing against him this week. I'm also sorry, like he could have single-handedly won you your game. Due to the fact that there was so much passing in this game, there really wasn't too much going on the ground for the Saints. Murray actually led the way with 7 carries for 69 yards and 2 receptions on 3 targets for 25 yards. Don't know how, but with a game with this many points, Alvin Kamara had a really poor showing. He had 13 carries for only 25 yards, 4 receptions on 6 targets for 18 yards, and he had a really pivotal fumble that actually really hurt the Saints. He fumbled it like right on their own 20-yard line, which led to a touchdown for the 49ers. So that's not good. I mean, Kamara had like 1 play where he looked really good, and the rest of the game, every time he touched the ball, he was swarmed immediately. The 49ers definitely game planned around shutting him down, and they did just that. So going forward, I'm not going to worry too much about Kamara, but this is definitely a little bit more concerning. If you started him this week, it hurt you a lot. Hopefully it didn't kill you. From a receiver perspective, Michael Thomas did not let you down. He had 11 receptions on 15 targets for 134 yards and a touchdown. He's just the most consistent player that we've seen at the wide receiver position in some time. He is basically stepping right in and taking over that Antonio Brown role that we've come to expect of there being one consistent receiver year in, year out. Tre'Quan Smith was actually goosing you until 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. He had 2 receptions on 4 targets for 29 yards, and he got you a touchdown at the very end. Ted Ginn, 4 receptions on 6 targets for 50 yards. Most people probably weren't starting either of them, but they at least had an okay day for you. And then from a tight end perspective, Jared Cook, who, go figure, the 49ers go from being the best team against the tight end to allowing 3 touchdowns between Jared Cook and Josh Hill. Josh Hill had 2 receptions and 3 targets for 4 yards, but he got a touchdown for you. Jared Cook had 2 awesome catches, both for a touchdown, 64 yards. So 64 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day, but on the second touchdown, he got hit really hard in the head, got a concussion, and never came back in. So thoughts and prayers to him. Hopefully he recovers quickly from that. All right, jumping over to the 49ers side of the ball, Jimmy Garoppolo was absolutely phenomenal today. He had 26 completions on 35 attempts for 349 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also had 1 interception, but that wasn't really his fault. It was a play that should have been caught by Emmanuel Sanders. It was just tipped up and picked off while I was in the air. So Jimmy Garoppolo was near perfect today. Raheem Mostert getting it done again. Only 10 carries on the ground, but for 69 yards, and he had a nice 10-yard run. He also had 2 receptions for 40 yards and 1 touchdown. That 1 touchdown being from Emmanuel Sanders on a trick play. So Mostert continues to get it done. Monitoring that going forward. Matt Breida only had 6 carries. He had 54 yards and 1 reception for 4 yards, so he looked really good. But Tevin Coleman, only 3 carries for 6 yards. Just abysmal performance. If you were expecting anything from Tevin Coleman, you did not get any of it. Like I said, Matt Breida looked really good, but it's looking like they are actually designing more plays for Mostert. Going forward, we'll see if this continues, but if Mostert continues playing like this, he's going to be a league winner. Looking at the receivers in this game, Emmanuel Sanders with an absolute monster game. He threw that 1 trick pass to Raheem Mostert for 35 yards, so he had a passing touchdown. He also had 7 receptions on 9 targets for 157 yards and a touchdown. One of those was a big 75-yard bomb in the second quarter. Just totally torched the Saints. Emmanuel Sanders had a fantastic day. Kendrick Bourne, 3 receptions on 4 targets for 18 yards and 2 touchdowns. Deebo Samuel also had a decent day, 2 carries on the ground for 33 yards. He also had 5 receptions on 8 targets for 76 yards. No touchdown in this one, but he still got it done for you. And then George Kittle, 6 receptions on 8 targets for 67 yards and that 5-yard touchdown. Also basically won the game for the 49ers on that 4th and 2 play where he just drug defender down the field as he was hanging on to his face mask. So George Kittle continues to play phenomenally well. Pretty much unless you started Kamara, you were probably happy with the performances that you got this week. This was the game that I'm sure if you had the right players in this game, that would have led to a lot of money in DFS for you. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will continue to be posting videos all season long, and we'll see you in the next one.